And welcome back to Terrific Terry Thursday at Horse Racing Today. For our day, we'll spend it together in a short race card of only 8 races today at Aqueduct. I don't know about where you are, Terry, but where I am, just outside there, it's like our Antarctica. It's snowing like crazy. I don't know.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Well,
it's
we have a lot.
insane.
Yeah, we have a lot of rain going on here.
Well, better rain than snow, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It was 61 degrees on Sunday, and by Thursday, it's 30 degrees and snowing. Welcome to Chicago. Well, free picks today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Weather should be a lot better there at Turf Paradise in Arizona. So you should get some sunny, fast, hot racing down there versus cold, sluggish racing here. There is no racing after they closed Arlington. The only place you can find thoroughbred racing in Chicagoland area is Hawthorne, which is closed for the season right now. When that racing starts, opening leg, you can get the picks in the description down below. Here, make sure you use that so they know where you're coming from. And when the show's over, we'll post all of our notes along with the replay of the show on horseracingtoday.net. And while you're there, kindly click on the HR Tier Gear button right there. Go over and collect yourself a hat, a sweatshirt in case it's going to snow where you are. 15% off everything for the next couple of days there, Mr. Terry. Hopefully we can find some 15% winners today. Good morning, Tafum. How are you today? Race number 1. I think we have a few of these 1 mile affairs today.
Yeah, we do. So anyway, race number 1 is a mile. And as you can see, let me get to that race. All right. So it's a mile, and it's a maiden race, $90,000 purse. And it's for maidens, 2-year-olds, and that's it.
Yes, sir. And at a mile, the profile of a winner does favor horses that do have some early speed, a little less than 1 out of 4. Go wire to wire. There's a small rail discount. 2 and 3, that's the best place to be. 4 through 7 gets the biggest discount. 8 and out, a small bonus. We do 1,000 simulations around here. That goes right here. I pressed the wrong button. To see which horse has the best chance to get the lead. Based upon that, which horses are going to get a race that look a lot like their best performances. Well, many of these may have not had good performances yet. Q30 score over 30. That's what we're looking for. Par plus. Bunch of zeros here, but ordinarily we want to see what percent of the time our simulations produced a speed figure of at least 83. And finally, simulation odds. We want our sim odds to be lower than the post-time odds to get some value. Terry, what does the lack of data say?
Well, it says that 5's got all the speed in the world. So if it's true to form, it's going to break out of that there and get to that quarter pole first. The 5 has the only overlay I see at just under even money to 5 to 2. None of them show par plus numbers. None show C zones. And the 1A and 5 have nice Q30s.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot to say there. That's for sure. Maybe a little bit of indication of what to expect. The 5 horse in here does have EP. I mean, wants to be forward. Pressure doesn't really necessarily want the lead. The 3 horse is a closer. 2B and 1A so far in their limited careers have not been within a 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. And the 4 horse in here, Keep the Dream Alive. It's going to start its dream today with its first race. Early speed does belong to the 5, although the 1A is going to be right in that mix. Kiss Me Slow, not too far off the pace, sitting in that shotgun. She's fascinating. That one's going to be in the back there. Late speed, according to all of the horses with some experience, belongs to the 3, Kiss Me Slow. About a 1 length difference between that and the 5 horse. Sharp Smile. You look at the top total pace, it does look like the 5 and the 3 are considerably better than the 1A, 2B, and who knows what the 4 is going to bring, Terry. But you're about to tell us what you're bringing with your first set of picks.
Yeah, I like the 5 Sharp Smile. She finished second versus 7 in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like your top pick. The 3 is my second pick, Kiss Me Slow. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 29% of the races in the first race at a route a horse has. She has the highest last speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on November 16th. And then Keep the Dream Alive is the 4. My third choice is a first-time starter whose dam has 1 winner from 1 starter, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and a good workout on November 16th at 4 furlongs. Then I like the 1A Vanilla Sunday, my long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets for me here.
Kiss Me Slow. Just needs to improve the normal amount in the second career start and doesn't need to do much more than that to win today. 2B, She's Fascinating. This is another one that's making the second career start. And if you read through the trip notes on that horse's debut, ran wide, had all kinds of issues in the course of the race, been off since. And if you look at the workout line underneath, you'll see that it has some robust, fast workouts getting ready for the second career start. Sharp Smile did show some better early speed and fractions last out, and a chance to bring it up in the second start after a layoff. And then the 4-horse, that's that first-time starter. Decent breeding, decent works. Didn't score the highest on my 3-point scale. I'm going to come out with a $5 exacta box, 2B and 3. And right now, the 1A and the 2B are your two longest shots in a 5-horse field. And according to Stephen Fielder, in 5-horse fields, you put some money on the longest shot on the board. And they're loading up right now. It is muddy. Got to note that. So it'll be interesting to see what the track bias looks like today with the mud. Does speed get to the front and stay there, or does speed get to the front and higher with the late legs coming, or do the horses really shy away from the kickback? So it looks like they're all in, except for the 1 horse doesn't want to participate just yet. Kind of went in, had some second thoughts, come back out. So they decided to put the 4-horse in first, who's a little reluctant to load too. But yeah, it's even talking to the assistant trainers, tell them nope. And with a little bit of coaxing, it goes in. Not so willingly, but still going in with just a little bit of resistance. And now the 5-horse, the gray. Oh, they say you always bet the gray in the mud, Terry.
Yep.
There he is. That one is in. So now they go back to the 1-horse, who's being a bit troublesome, showing a little bit more interest to going into the gate this time around. But when they get there, he walks right in this time around. Just didn't want to go in until last. Maybe subtly saying you saved the best for the last. And they're off and running, and the 1A horse has darted to the lead with the 5-horse right now, sitting off to the outside. 1A on the lead. You got a little bit of a gap, about a length back to the 3 and the 4, and then about another 3/4 of a length back to the 2 horses. They're going to make their way onto the main track. The 1A and the 5, they're dueling up front. Right now, the 2-horse is moved up into 3rd place, 3 wide. The 3-horse down on the rail, trying to save a little bit of ground. It was the 4-horse that went wide. Now you've probably got about a length and a half from the nose of the 1A to the tail of the 4, that first-time starter, as the 2 and the 3 make their way into contention right now. The 5 horses ran 2 wide all the way around the track, as looks like the 3 is the 1-to-1 favorite, and then the 2B is 8-to-1. They're making their way around the turn right now. Really no change. The 4 horses in a debut kind of running sluggishly up the track, so I think that one doesn't really have a chance. Now they're turning for home. The 5 horse has eked its nose out in front of the 1A horse. Here comes the 3 up on the outside. 5 horses really just kind of interfered with his path altogether right there. That'll be interesting to see what happens there. The 3 horse trying to re-rally now. If the 3 horse goes by, and the 5 horse is coming way up the track in front of the 3 again. Doesn't really make contact with him, but comes into his path multiple times. Probably does go 5-3, but I wouldn't be surprised to see an objection. 5-3, and then 2B1, and then the first-time starter 4, just kind of rounding it out there. So there you go. The 5 horse is your winner. The 2 favorites, 5-3, and then the 5-3, 2, and then the 1. Off to race number 2. Oh, we got a lot of comments here. To Terry, you post them all or not?
Yeah, I haven't posted them. They were talking about Barry Knight was saying we had a good day yesterday, asking for thumbs up. And I posted best bets for Tafon because he was asking. And then, hey guys, it rained all night here. This is Umut.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you can see that on the track there for sure.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people watching on Twitter too. So if you're watching on Facebook, thumbs up. If you're watching on Twitter, kindly retweet right now so people can see the remaining 7 races on the Aqueduct muddy card for Terrific Terry Thursday. So race number 2 is next on our agenda.
Yeah, and race number 2, we have a mile and an eighth allowance race, $92,000 purse, and it's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 20,000 other than maiden claiming starter or state bred allowance, or which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, this is a long race. Speaking of 2 races, they've only had 2 at the distance so far. Both of them were won by closers. One of the winners left from post positions 4 through 7, and the other left from 8 or out. So maybe the outside is a little bit better than the inside. Tough to tell. We know that speed so far in just 2 races hasn't been the determining factor. But in the event it is the determining factor today, Terry, who's going to get the lead?
Well, it looks like to me that it's a who knows race because they're all got some speed. But the one has the most speed, followed up by the 4 and the 5. And then the 5 has a overlay from about 3-1 to 5-1. The 4 and 3 have the only par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones, and the 4 has a 30% on Q30.
Yes, indeed. It does have a pretty strong C zone. Again, 95% chance. Black Rain, according to our projected early pace, has a good opportunity to get a race that looks a lot like its best performances. Also strong 22% chance to run a speed figure of at least 97. That's a pretty high number. That's almost stakes level stuff right there. If we take a look at, this is what we call trip handicapping and then pace handicapping over here. According to the trip handicapping, 3 want to be forward, 2 want to be back. Although the 2 horse in here, More Vino, is a lone EP. Always got to be leery of those, these Sesame Street horses that look like none of the others, because they could really get a great trip. At the start of the race, according to the pace, that More Vino, more wine, will be up front. Question is, can it hang on? It and the 4 horse, those 2 considerably faster than everybody else. So expect the 2 and the 4 to be out front in race number 2. As they turn for home, it does look like Pirate and California Sober. Those 2 will be coming the hardest at the end. Your top total pace horse is Pirate, 4 points clear of Black Rain, 4 points clear of Yo Daddy, 3 points clear. So this one cascades down 5, 4, 3, 6, 2. Terry, what's your order?
Okay, I like the 4 Black Rain. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Yo Daddy, the 3, is my second choice. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. California Sober is the 6, is my third choice. He was beaten only 1.5 lengths versus similar on the turf in his last start. But he's going to return to the dirt, which may help him improve, and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I like the 5 Pirate as my long shot. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 21% of the allowance races he has a horse competing in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play a $6 exacta box 3-4, and then I'm going to play 50-cent Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4, the 3-4 with the 1-3-6-7 with the 2-4-7 with the 1-6-8-10, a $48 ticket.
Well, this is the classic 5 horse field right there. More Vino clearly going to be your longest shot on the board, and great chance to be the pace setter. You never know. I start with the 3 horse. That one is Yo Daddy. It's the only horse in the race that so far has a par race on its recent scorecard. Ran better fractions last out. Black Rain, the 4 horse, did run the top last race speed figure. 3 points clear of everybody else. Does have that Q30-30 score in there. But according to its past performances, this horse is making the second start after a layoff. Both times it had a second start after a layoff. It was a downgrade from the first time out, so maybe a regression risk. Pirate, the 5 horse, is next on my list. If it can just rerun the last race it ran at Aqueduct, it would have a good chance to upset the 3 and the 4. And then California Sober, debut was the lone race on dirt. After that, it tried its luck on turf a couple of times. Coming back to dirt, where when it ran on dirt, it had a very easy win. I'm going to start the same way you are, 3-4, with 1-3-4, with 2-3-4, 1-1-8, 2, 6, 7, and 8. I think that's a $45 pick 4. And then I'm going to put 10 to win and place on Yo Daddy. Next up, race 3, Terry.
All right, so let's go to race 3, and we're going to shorten up to 6 furlongs. It's an allowance race, $50,000 with a purse of $65,000. for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $50,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming.
And to win at 6 furlongs, early speed, baby, you better be blistering fast, because 42% of the time, the horse that wins the race to the quarter-mile marker wins the race to the winner's circle. There's an absolute outside to inside bias. So the farther you are from the rail, the better off you are. In fact, if you wear a 1, 2, or 3, you generally get discounted pretty hard. And of course, it looks like our picks are going to start off in there. But Terry, who's got the most early speed here?
Well, the 4 shows all the speed. I mean, all of them have some speed, but that 4 has a lot of speed according to the data. And then the 5 has an overlay from almost 3-1 to 8-1. The 7 has an overlay from about 9-1 to 10-1. 3 and 5 have the par plus numbers, and all have C zones. And the 4 has a 32% in the Q30.
So look at this 4 horse, More Diamond, what the morning group has. Fairish odds, now par plus, but great chance to be on the lead. Top C zone. We've seen that combination. Those horses tend to grow in confidence the longer they're on the lead. And that Q30 score, there is a wire-to-wire candidate right there. Maybe at a good price, too. In race number 3, you look at the 1 and 4 want to be on the lead. Everybody else middle back, so get to the front. You got a good chance. And I think based upon this number here, 100, that is stakes level early pace right there. Terry doesn't have stakes level late pace so far, but maybe it can get it together today. 2-length lead over everybody else. Remember, every 5 points equates to roughly 1 length. At the end of the race, if you're looking for a closer, First Class Act, that one has about 2 lengths more late speed than everybody else. Should be in a shotgun position. It's also your top total pace horse in here. 5 points clear of the 1. And then there's your speed horse. The top 4 horses way better than the bottom 3 according to pace. And more than 70% of the time, top total pace, the 4 of them, ends up producing the winner. Who's your winner, Terry?
All right. I like in this race, number 3, First Class Cat. She ran second in her last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 23% of the races. When bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, she has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1 is my second choice. She has a high percentage winning trainer whose horses win 21% of the races in dirt starts. She has a high percentage winning jockey, and her early running speed style will help her. So the shorter distance will be a plus. Then the 6, Graceful Rose, third pick, is finished in the money in 4 races out of 5 starts at Aqueduct, and has finished in the money in 5 out of 8 starts at today's distance. And then 7, Foolish Challenge, my long shot, finished 3rd in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And this combination of trainer and jockey have been in the money 4 out of 5 starts with 2 wins, 2 seconds. No additional bets for me here.
First Class Cat. Top pick for both of us. We go 3-1. Better early pace in the last race, and there's room for more. And the classic 3rd start after a layoff. Ariana Rye, the 1 horse on the rail there, a little better fractions last out. And resume says that the 2nd start after a layoff will be a little better than the 1st, or maybe even a lot better. If it's a lot better, that could be your winner. The 4 horse, Mo Demering Grouch. No, Mo the Morning Grouch. There you go. Mo the Morning Grouch. That's one maybe has just too much early speed for the rest of these at a distance where 42% of the time they win wire to wire, and does have that plus 30 Q30 score. Poseidon's Mist, the 5 horse, the last choice for me. That one is one of our simulation favorites, and another horse with a chance to be better, maybe a lot better, in the 2nd start off the sidelines. Race number 4, Terry, is next on our agenda, so let's go about describing that one.
All right, it's a mile. It's a claiming race, $25,000 claiming price. Purse $40,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And you can see here at Aqueduct, an important note, it is a 1-turn mile, as you see over here on the screen. 1-turn miles tend to act a little bit more like sprints than they do routes, so it can give a little bit of an edge to speed horses. And that's exactly what we see at Aqueduct, because early speed is the best way to win. If you're middle forward, great shot. In fact, 24% of the time, the horse that gets the lead goes gate to wire. There's a small rail discount for Brown Don't Shop. The best place to be is the black and white 2 or the blue and white 3. 4 through 7 gets the biggest discount, 8 and out, a small bonus as well. If you're 2 or 3 here, Terry, and you got some gas, you got a chance, and well, that 3 horse fits that bill.
It does. The 3 shows most of the speed. All the other horses, but the 5 show some kind of speed. The 4 has an overlay from 3-1 to 6-1, and all but the 5 show a par plus number, and all of them show C zones.
How do you find us on Twitter? All right, Terry, how do you find us on Twitter?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a Twitter person.
X. You find us on social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Horse Race, the number 2 day is how you find us on Facebook. It's how you find us on X or Twitter. TikTok, the new one, Blue Sky or whatever, Bluey it's called. I don't know. The one where everybody's running off of Twitter because they can't stand Elon anymore. So any social site except for our YouTube channel, which is Horse Racing Radar TV. Just a stupid choice we made long time ago. But hey, you got to live with your stupid choices along with the good ones. No matter where you're watching, kindly share our content with your family and friends that like horse racing. Certainly would appreciate it. You can find me on Twitter at HRT Rich. I'm sure would appreciate some follows there too. As soon as we're done with our new product launch, which is coming out pretty soon, where we're going to take all of this data that we talk about, you can start to see the sheets taking form right here. There's all the stuff that we talk about right here, our simulation odds, our par plus. This is if the horses have run a par race, and I'm finding about 80% of the time winners have a yes in this column. Your Q30 score, their performance on pace in the race, their fractional performance. Over here, we have the top last race speed figure. If they made it 3 and above, we have a speed chart with the high, low, and average relative to everybody else. And then down here, you'll see we have our race view. Like this is the race setup. This is our comfort zone and who's going to be on the lead and our pace. Down here, we have first-time starter, our 3-point ranking system. And there's a lot more to come still that we're going to be adding, but we're almost done with phase 1. And when we are done with phase 1, we'll let you know where you can get it for any track that runs thoroughbred horse racing in North America or Canada. And that's coming very, very soon. All right, Terry. So along with our simulations for race number 4, our race shape tells us this 3 horses a low knee. Everybody else wants to be middle back. If that 3 can get the lead, folks, it can have a shot to go wire to wire. And early pace says that one's about a length and a half quicker than everybody else out of the gate. That makes the 3 dangerous no matter what. Late speed belongs to the 2 horse strap. Again, about 2 lengths faster than D-Day Sky. Top 3 horses in here are your 2, 4, and 7. 10 points clear of the front runner to 3. So according to Pace, our good friend Chris Parmalou's favorite way to look at a race, 2, 4, or 7, you should start there, Terry.
That's right. And I do. I start with the 2, Strapped. He is finishing the money in 4 races out of the last 6 starts. Drops in class today. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the claiming races that she has a horse competing in, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like the 7 D-Day Sky. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. Drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey. Ford Torpedo Run is my 3rd choice. Won his last race at Aqueduct. He has the highest last speed rating and a good workout on November 14th at 4 furlongs. Number 5, the Boys Code is my long shot, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets for me here.
Yeah, Strapped simulation favorite in here. Great chance to run a par plus top in the area here, and running at the lowest level of its career. So facing the lightest company. D-Day Sky, the 7 horse, is a consistent performer. Another one that's faced much better in every one of its races so far. So this is by far the lightest company it's seen. Torpedo Run did run the top last race speed figure, 5 points better than the next closest horse. And Andrew Beyer, if you read his books on speed figures, will tell you that a horse that has a 3-point advantage in the previous start is worthy of a lot of consideration. And then the 3-horse Irish Tenor, that one's going to be out front, as we see in our simulation as well as in our pace setup. And if the others don't care for kickback, it is the low knee. Excellent chance to go wire to wire. Race number 5 is the much feared Race of Death as it ends the early pick four and begins the late pick four, Terry.
Yep, we're going back to a mile, and it's a maiden claiming race, $40,000 claiming price, $45,000 purse. For maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
For Thanksgiving, at least do a Wednesday night trip. I think there's only 2 tracks running on Thanksgiving, right? That's Fairgrounds, and I don't remember, but we can do something for Thanksgiving next week. Maybe Tara and I can get together on Wednesday night. And at the very minimum, we'll put our picks out on horseracingtoday.net, Barry. But we'll let everybody know where to look for that on our social sites, on Twitter. So at a mile, again, that, as we discussed a little bit earlier, it is at Aqueduct, a 1-turn mile. And this really comes into play a lot when you're looking for horses for like the Kentucky Derby. You get, because it's a 2-turn race, the Derby. And a lot of horses through the qualifying races, they'll run a mile somewhere on a 1-turn, and the first time they head to 2 turns is a huge test to see if they can indeed handle that. Just something to keep in mind as we are now at the very beginning of qualifying season for the 2025 Kentucky Derby. So Terry, at a mile, we do think speed is the best way. At least that's what it's shown so far, with 24% winning on the front. Small rail discounts, 2 and 3, again, best place to be. 4 through 7, the biggest discount. 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. A lot of horses in this race, Terry, for the Race of Death. Anyone that's really fast.
Well, that let's see, are we in the right race here?
Yeah, we're in race 5.
Okay, well then, the 2 shows the most speed, and I think that 2 is going to get that quarter pole first. The 2 has an overlay from 11 to 1 to 15 to 1. The 1 has an overlay from almost 6 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 1A has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 10 to 1. 7 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 15 to 1. 7, 6, 1A, 1, and 2 all have par plus numbers, and all but the 3, 5, and 8 have C zones.
Yeah, and the only one with really 2 high C zone scores in here belong to the 1A and the 4, both of them over 50%. Big field. You got to find any. Well, you're not going to find much of an edge here. So far, none of them, except for the 1 and 7, within 5 lengths to 1A and to 7 of the winner at the finish line. So who knows what these horses are going to bring to the table today? This is an anything goes race. The Race of Death probably should just say all on your ticket. But if you want speed, Fifi La Fume. That one wasn't that Pepe Le Pew's girlfriend? Anyway. That one's about 2 lengths quicker than everybody else at the start. So if speed holds up and someone adds to that 25% wire to wire, we saw it on our simulations. We see it in the pace. 2's going forward, but boy, it better have some more late speed today. At the end, classical finale. Well, you got a bunch of them in here in a very tight box. And even these down here aren't all that far off. Top total pace, top 4 horses generally produces your winner. 1, 6, 7, 1, and 5. And then a pretty good drop off from there to the rest, Terry. Again, this race, just all different ways that we examine it, looks like it's a wide open race. Why did you settle on the 10?
Well, I like Open Flame because she drops in class and she has a high percentage win trainer who wins 20% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. And she has a high percentage winning jockey, so lots of boxes checked off for me. Then number 6, Furry Fox, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and blinkers are added today. She's my second choice. My third choice is Pawtucket Shuffle. Then 8, she switches to high percentage winning jockey, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 19% of the race in a horse's first route race. And then I like the 1A, I Heard Somethings, as my long shot. She drops in class today. She has the highest last speed rating, and she can improve while returning to dirt. I'm going to play the second and last pick 4. 1, 6, 8, 10 with the 2, 4, 6 with the 2, 5, and finish up with the 2, 6, 8, 9.
So I'm going to start off with the 1 horse, the 1 and the 1A in here. You get the 2-for-1 special in a big field. The 1 had better fractions and pace last time out, and the 1A just needs to be a little bit better in its 3rd career start to get above par for this level. Fury Fox, the 6 horse, that one had a bad trip, multiple excuses in its debut, and yet if it just has typical second race improvement, that would be more than enough to get its speed figures above par for this level. FIFA Le Fume. Yeah, I know that late pace sucked, but way too much early speed to ignore with 11-point advantage over everybody else. Can get out to the front. And if they don't like running in the mud, they'll have to pass it at some point. And then Classicals Finale, the 7-horse, the last choice for me, another long shot in there. It just needs to be a touch better today. My only concern is this one's coming up from a lower level track today. I'm going to go 50-cent pick forward with the entry, the 6 and the 7. No, that should be the 2, not the 7. I don't know why I got there, but shouldn't be the 7. Should be the 2. My bad. So 1, 2, and 6. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 5 with the 2, 6, 9, 11. And then I know the 2 horse is my third pick, but I'm going to do a $5 exact the key box. This horse is 15-1 morning line. Maybe it can go off at high odds. So I'm crossing my fingers it can steal the race in a muddy track today with the 1A, 6, and 7. And I want to thank Terry for pointing out earlier in the day I had the 2 beating the 2, which is hard to do, but it's possible, I suppose, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right, so let's see. March would have give a free Thanksgiving dinner at Hollywood Park. Typo. Well, we're not at Hollywood Park, and maybe Terry and I can do a free Thanksgiving dinner. If you go over to horseracingtoday.net and everybody buys a t-shirt or a hat or a sweatshirt, if you all go do that with 15% off over the next 4 days, next year we'll pick a time and place where we'll meet and we'll buy everybody a dinner, a sandwich, a slice of pizza, and a Coke or something. But everybody has to go pick up a hat right now, or a t-shirt, or a sweatshirt.
That's the deal. That's right. That'd be 117 hats right now.
Yeah, that would work out. I mean, we'd probably still come out of pocket for the pizza and stuff, but that's okay. Yeah. I think we have a few minutes left, Terry, before race number 2 in a really ugly-looking track. So let's try to run real fast through race number 6.
All right, so let's do that. Okay, it's 6.5 furlongs, claiming 12.5. My purse 36,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards.
6.5 furlongs, profile of a winner, tactical speed, only a half a dozen races so far. None of those races won on the front. There is a big time outside to in. The inside 3 horses have really struggled in the 6 races so far. So be on the outside. Don't necessarily be on the lead, but be forwardly placed, Terry. Looks like this is one of those races when the gates open, as you put it, anyone's guess.
That's anyone's guess, of course, because all of them show some kind of speed. The 6 has an overlay from 2-1 to 3-1. The 1A has an overlay from almost 6-1 to 8-1. All of them show par plus numbers and all show C zones.
A couple of them here over 50%. This one went close to the 2 horse close to the 30Q30 score. Trip handicapping. Well, the 1A and a 7 want to be on the front. Everybody else middle back. I know speed hasn't won yet, but you could get a tactical advantage if you can get out on easy fractions. Take it. It takes heart. That one should get out the front. Maybe might have to push it a little bit, but it's on the inside, so maybe not. At the end of the race, since closers have done very well off the pace, our funny business, but I would look for these horses right off the early pace, the 4 and 6, probably going to get some really good trips. Hey, look, there's that speed horse. Your top total pace horse is the speed horse. Your top 4 are the 2, 4, 6, 1A. Who are your top 4?
I like the 6 Vegas weekend. She's finished in the money in the last 6 starts and winning 2 of the races. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. My first love, the 4, won her last race at Aqueduct, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then 2, It Takes Heart, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 23% of the claiming races. He has a horse running in. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 8 is my long shot, Our Funny Business. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional best for me as my pick of the day is coming up in the next race.
Vegas weekend, that gets the top calling for me. Crushed in her last race. Much better early, second up, and the outside post really helpful. It Takes Heart. If you look at our chart here, Terry, real quick, in race number, what are we in, race number 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that the average race right here for number 2, that red dot, is pretty much better than the peak for almost everybody else in this race. That's why we make this sort of information. The 4 horse, my first love. Terry, you still talk to your first love, right?
I do.
Yes, I wonder how many people do. I don't talk to mine. Christine won't talk to me anymore, but very consistent performer. Won big at this level last out. And then the 8 horse, Our Funny Business was a tough call for me over the entry, but trainer Michael Catalano Jr., he's from my neck of the woods over here in Chicagoland, when he takes a horse off the claim the first time out to the track, wins at 23%, and has the strongest off-track record, and that's absolutely what we got today. So while we wait, Terry, for the folks to put the horses in for race number 6, again, today, Turf Paradise, where it likely won't be muddy. Track will probably be fast, firm. You can get free picks for that down in the description below on YouTube. Please use that so they know where you're coming from. A little bit later on, we will post all of our picks for today at Aqueduct, along with our comments and a race replay. You'll see it right there on horseracingtoday.net. Just click on the link right on the front page there. It'll take you, and you will see all of that information right here. And while you're watching on Twitter, do us a huge favor, retweet. While you're watching on YouTube, do us a huge favor as well. Hit that like button right now. Only 1 out of 10 people subscribe. Please do that, because when you subscribe or you interact, like putting comments up, or you come back when the show is over, we will timestamp every race in the description at YouTube. Any interactivity between us helps us with the search engine algorithms. And the higher up we go, and the more likely people are to find our show when they search. Some very easy ways to help promote horse racing today. All right, race number 2 looks like they're all about lined up. Gentleman's trying to get out of the way in the slop, finding it hard to run in those rubbery boots, but he got out of the way. And they're off and running. And right now, does look like the 2-horse in race number 2 has more vino. That long shot has gotten to the front. Black Rain right now, the 4-horse. The second choice is in second place. To the outside in third, looks to me like it is the 5-horse, Pirate. Down on the rail, the 3-horse, your favorite at 3-5, Yo Daddy in fourth. And then the 6-horse at the back of the pack. You're looking about 5 lengths from the nose of the 2 to the tail of the 6 as they make their way through the turn. The 4-horse, maybe a little bit of a tough trip, too wide through the turn. Never a fan of that. The 3-horse is kind of disgusted with the pace, so he's gone up through the rail, taking that opening. Now taking over the lead as the 3 and the 4 are on the front. The 2-horse in between horses. The 4-horse is going to have to run 3 wide through that second turn in the mud. That's a long trip around the track. The 5-horse is about a length and a half off the front 3, and way in the back of the pack is California Sober. They go through the opening quarter about 48 and a half seconds. The 3-horse has continued to dominate. It's kind of pulled away a little bit from everybody else, but the 4-horse has left the 2 in the dust. Looks to me like the 3-horse is running the best. The jockey has asked the 4 to go. The jockey on the 3-horse looking between his legs to see if anybody's coming. Usually a sign that he has a lot of horse left. And drifting up the track, too, like the other horse did in the first race. That's kind of interesting. He's tiring a little bit, so maybe someone's going to come run him down at the end. I don't think so. It's going to go, I don't know. He's really starting to funky stride right there. So maybe the 4-horse can come get him down because he's starting to really tire. But it's going to go 3, 6. Oh, no. Sorry. 3, 4, 6, 5, I think. 3, 4, 6, and 5. Not the one we wanted to win to start off the pick 4 there, Terry.
No, but that's all right.
Yeah, well,
At least we're not out of it.
I got 10 to win in place on it, so I'm probably going to get, what, $20, $26 back. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
But where else can you make 30% on your money in a minute and 12 seconds?
That's right.
Not too many other places on the planet. Certainly cryptocurrency maybe right now. 2 races to go. So we start the late daily double, Terry, in race number 7, another sprint.
6 furlongs, an optional claiming race, $45,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed. Purse $85,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, pulled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry, which have never won $20,000 twice, other than a maiden claiming starter, which have not won 3 races, or optional claiming price of $45,000.
Well, so far, horses that have been towards the front on this sloppy track have done pretty good. The 2-horse faded off there, but the 3 and 4 in contention all the way around the track. 6 furlongs, 42% of the time the horses that are in contention early, especially on the lead, win. Otherwise, early speed is the dominant position. Outside is better than inside, and the inside 3 really kind of make it tough at 6 furlongs. So if you're on the outside in race number 7, a Buffalo Girl with some speed, Terry, and well, it looks like the most Buffalo, if I'm missed on the outside, might be just a touch quicker than Amazing Doty.
Yeah, you got that right. Although they could go head to head to that quarter pole, and then that one has a overlay of 8.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 2 has an overlay, small overlay from about 8 to 5, 2 to 1. The 5 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 7 to 2. The 5 and the 2 has only par plus numbers. All of the horses have C zones, and that 5 has a nice 32% Q30.
And if you're watching us for the first time and you're wondering what all these numbers mean, simulation odds, 1,000 simulations based upon how many times the horse comes out the winner. We calculate the odds. And ideally, we want our simulation odds to be lower than post-time odds. Par plus in our 1,000 simulations. How many times a horse runs a speed figure equal to or above the Brisnet par speed figure? So that's 92. Our chance to get to the lead speaks for itself. And then based upon our projected pace, which horses, if you isolate their best races and our projected pace, we want to see how closely they align. That's your comfort zone. Q30 scores, according to James Quinn in his book, The Complete Handicapper, anytime a horse gets 30% of that number, it's worthy of a bet, returns a positive ROI. Along with all of our simulations, we do what's called trip handicapping, where the horse wants to be on here. The 7 horse wants to be a pace setter. Everybody else middle back. Speed does well, so get to the lead, and you get a good chance to win. It does look like My Bronx Baby, a chance to be the lone E, but will definitely have pressure from the 2 and the 5. Those are PC types, so they don't need to be on the lead. They have some flexibility. The 7 goes too slow, like we saw in the last race with the 3, can run on by. If it goes too fast, those 2 can afford to be patient. At the end of the race, Foxy Cara, along with Harlan's Bond, Amazing Dowdy have the best late speed, but really only 6 points separating worst from first. So I think that tells us the beginning of the race will be more important than the end of the race. Amazing Doty, a little bit better than My Bronx Baby, which is a little better than Sue Ellen Mishkin. Looks like you just take the odd number horses in this race, Terry, and you'll be all right.
Well, I'm going for the 4th day in a row with my pick of the day, as I hit a hat trick yesterday. My pick of the day won yesterday, and if you bet the bets that I suggested, you'd made a profit of 100%. So I'm going with 5 as my pick of the day, Sue Ellen Miskin. She has finished in the money in 6 races out of 6 starts at Aqueduct, winning 3 of the starts, and has a high percentage, has finished in the money in 8 out of 8 starts at today's distance, winning 6 of those starts. Then I like the 2, Amazing Dottie. She's won 6 races out of the last 9 starts, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. My Bronx Baby, the 7's my 3rd choice, won her last race at Aqueduct, has a high percentage winning jockey. I like number 4 as my long shot, Foxy Cara. She switched to high percentage winning jockey and can handle the distance. I'm going to bet 16 wins, 26th place on number 5, a $4 exacta, the 5 on top with the 2, 6, 8, and 9, and a $10 exacta, 5 on top with the 2, 4, 7. That's it.
I'm going to put the 2 horse Amazing Doty as my top pick in here. Last race, its speed figure, 9 points better than everybody else. That means everybody else has to come up or that one has to regress. And I don't know if it's going to regress because the horse has been off for a little while and some of the workouts are really fast. This horse is almost all or nothing, usually wins or finishes off the board, occasionally comes in 2nd or 3rd, but for the most part, win or nothing. Sue Ellen Michigan does have the most back class in the race, never off the board in 6, as you mentioned, Terry, at Aqueduct. And at the distance, this horse rocks. 8 times out, 6 wins, a couple of thirds. And interesting to note, Linda Rice is both the owner and the trainer. My Bronx Baby, the 7 horse, should be forward. This one's run on and off track 3 times, won 2 of those races, and a 2nd place where she held the lead late but gave it up. Foxy Cara, the 4 horse, both of our long shots in here. Its last race was better than it looks because the fractions were a little bit quicker, despite the horse running a little bit longer, and combine that with some better early pace numbers as well. Usually all signs of a horse on the upswing. I'm going to put $11. I think that's the rest of my budget to win and place on El Número Dos. Well, no, I have more money left. All right, I did. Race number 9, the last race of the day. Terry, 8, excuse me. I'm all confused. What's going on here?
Well, it's a mile race. It's a maiden claiming race, $20,000 claiming price, $35,000 purse for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
So to go a mile, as we mentioned a few times already, it's a 1-turn mile at the New York track. Does favor speed a little bit more than it does closers, 24% of the time. Win the race to the quarter-mile marker, win the race to the finish line, collect the checkered flag. Small rail discount for LC Go Lucky, 2 and 3. That's the best place to be. 4 and 7, really, that's the worst place to be. And then 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. So Terry, speed once again in the finale matters. Looks like 2 of them are going to drag race when the gates open.
Yeah, several have speed, but the 2 and the 5 show the most speed. And again, they could go head to head to that quarter pole if they both get a good break. 4 has an overlay from about 5 to 2 to 8 to 1, and the 11 has an overlay from 7 to 5 to 5 to 1. 11 and 4 have the best par plus numbers, and all but the 3 show some kind of a C zone.
Yeah, again, just looking at this, a wide open race. Maybe, if you like the speed, the 2. If you like the high, over 50% C zones, you're looking at the 6 and the 10. So a lot of different ways to go off of this data. If you're just looking for par plus, then you would look at the 4 and the 11. So many, many, many ways to look. Maybe the race setup, well, this whole bunch wants to close. Everybody wants to be middle back. The 5 and the 7 so far, not within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. An all button again, Terry. Looking at the beginning, the 5 and the 2 are by far the quickest out of the gates. So they should have the advantage when the race starts, just like we saw in our simulations. At the end, well, there's that late pace horse, but look at how far off the lead that one's going to be. Comanche Peak. A bunch of them in here in a very similar zip code. Looks like only the 10 not fitting in on the late speed numbers. You look at your top total pace horse, Shaking the Bell, 6 points clear of the 5. And then look at all of these horses except for the 10 in a tight knit there, Terry. I think that's where you're going to start. No, you're going to start with the 9.
I am the Bolt de Plata. This horse has finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. Has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 6, Very Satisfactory, is my second shot pick. Drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 32% of the races when taking a horse from a turf to the dirt. Number 8, Dangerous Driver, is my 3rd choice. He ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and he has the highest last speed rating. I like the 2 as my long shot, Shaking the Bell. His best start speed is close to the average winning speed. The longer distance offers hope for improvement, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. As I'm out of money, no other bets for me.
So for me, I'm going to start off with the 6 horse, Very Satisfactory. 2 horses in here making the biggest class drops in the race. The 6 is one of them. And this one is one of the few that has a par race on his resume. Shaking the Bell, the 2 horse is that horse with that top total pace, 6 points better than everybody else. Improved early pace last time out. And if you rewind or review the show on our YouTube channel, look for Craig Milkowski from Timeform US. He shares a lot of secrets. And one of the secrets he shared was that horses that show improved pace for the first half mile usually improve their next race. Number 9, Bolt de Plata, most upside in this race, Terry. Signs of Life in his last start with that better early pace I just mentioned. And then the other biggest dropper, the 11 horse, Bourbon Outlaw. This one is the simulation favorite, coming off a layoff. I couldn't rank him any higher because the first record after a layoff is a bit suspect to me. I'm going to do a 50-cent try. This race is wide open. Hopefully catch a price somewhere. 269 over to 24689 11 over to 269 and 11. And surprisingly, all of that only cost $18.
All right.
I expected it to cost a whole lot more than that, but it didn't. All right. So that wraps up all of our picks today. Here you can see our full slate of picks. In race number 1, the 5-horse one. In race number 2, the 3-horse one. We have these races remaining. So hopefully we find some prices in there, although I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a little bit chalky. Tomorrow, we're going to do Tokyo, I think for the first time, Tom and I, for Foreign Fridays. It could be very hard to find some racing data for that, but we'll put our best foot forward there, probably around 1 o'clock Eastern time. So keep an eye on our social sites to learn more about when we'll go live for Foreign Friday. Of course, Terry and I back on Monday and Tuesday for Parks. Wednesday, we'll do Churchill. We'll do something for Thursday. We just don't know if it'll be live or if it'll just be on horseracingtoday.net. We'll keep you up to speed on all that in our social sites, Terry, which are.
There, you got me there. It's Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Horse Race, the number 2 day. And go ahead and give us thumbs up and that likes there. Also, I'd like you to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you're notified about all of these programs, like the one tomorrow that's Foreign Friday, and also that we can go ahead and you can copy that link below and share it with everybody you know, so they can come and check us out. I know they're going to like what they see. And then keep these comments coming, and we'll and the picks, because we really enjoy it, and it really helps us out too. And our guaranteed tip sheet pre-track today is Turf Paradise.
Yes, indeed. You can get there's a link in the description down below. Again, just a few minutes over at horseracingtoday.net. We'll post all of our comments along with the replay of the show. You can get it there. You'll see it right on the front, right there. You can't miss it. Click on that. Click on the HRT gear. Get yourself some sweatshirts, some hats, some gear to keep you warm. As I mentioned, a blizzard outside in Chicago today. No accumulation, but just a forewarning of what's to come in the north. And you'll be regretting it if you don't have a sweatshirt when you're freezing, for sure. All right, Terry, well, that wraps it up for you and me for this week. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom for you before we part for the weekend?
Yeah, stay safe in this snow back there in the east and in Chicago. Be careful on the roads, both there and in the west here, where it's raining like crazy, especially up north. And then just give your loved ones a hug and a kiss, because you never know what's going to happen from day to day. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you on Monday.
Indeed. So Terry and I both appreciate you joining us today on this terrific Terry Thursday in the mud at Aqueduct. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, we hope it's blessed, has God's grace and God's favor, and every single thing that you do until we get back together again ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. See you tomorrow for Tokyo for the very first time. Godzilla. Have a great day.